What's up, dudes? FooserX here for FooserX Reacts. And last night I reacted to a video, but I was a little tipsy, got a little loose, and watching it again, it was a lot of fun, but at the same time, I never want to be disrespectful to certain players, especially players that have put in their dues into promoting and playing and touring, because just to go on a tour, even if you're not even a great player, you're touring, like, no, man, you're part of the brotherhood. Like, we're family. And so I just want to redo that video, and we'll see if I can have the same reaction, even though I kind of know certain things, but let's get it on. This is Mr. Liam Lee versus Brandon Moreland, and we have not reacted to Liam Lee on this channel. And I would say, I feel like he has come to Colorado State once or twice, and I think he kind of has a controversial three rod because it's just different. And anytime you have somebody winning and they have something different, people get either excited about or they're very quick to say, it's a fluke. So it'll be fun, man. And we're not here to knock anybody. We're just here to explore different foosball. So let's get it on. Thank you to Austin Foosball. I hope they let me keep this video. If you got other videos for Austin Foosball, go check them out. Brandon setting up for the pull. Kaboom. Right off the bat. That is a fast straight. Working a brush. Oh man, look how tight that straight is. Very smooth. Good shit. Great defense from Brandon. And we'll get to this later on, but right off the bat, let's just look to see what Brandon is doing over here. He is doing the same strategy that I use. I had a video on this. I think it was the first part of the Foosballers review. When you play singles and you don't want to get hacked out, but at the same time, you enjoy giving 100% of the focus to your front game and you don't want to sometimes moving both your guys is a little too much, put this guy on the middle, or maybe you cheat it here and there depending on who you're playing. And then just put your hand on this guy just to make sure, like, not that you're back there, you're ready for stuff, but still, like, all of your focus is on blocking the 5-0. And Brandon's got really good D in terms of he is on the wall and he's kind of coming out. He's dictating things, but he's not just sitting on the wall like sometimes we saw that sometimes with some other players recently where they would just sit on the wall to dictate shit. You can do that. I do that. But at the same time, this is also good. You're sitting on the wall for the majority of it, and you're talking that person into reading the lane, but you're not making it so easy. Again, just... Yeah. But and you got to know too, when you play people with far wall series, their money pass is that wall pass. It's just the mechanics of the far wall series. So what do we want to do on any ride? We want to take away the money pass, the money shot. You take away that wall pass. And what did he do next? Just rushing it. I mean, this is why you got to kind of take your time, because Brandon's not really going fast. Just read that a little bit better. He tried to go 2 to the 2, and it was there. I mean, it's there to be read, but he just sort of takes it a little bit too soon. Still gets it, and now we get our first look at his 3-0, the infamous bump 3-0. And why is this a controversial shot? Well, for a few reasons here. It's because this isn't what a lot of people would say a true push kick. And the reverse could be said if you were doing it up over here, pull kick. Because you were not glued to this ball, like, what do we know here? Well, we know you cannot pull the trigger at any point in time. We know the gap between here and here gives a slightly, you're going to give a give up a little bit in terms of you're telling your opponent when you're going because you're going to make that motion to bump the ball. So you're giving a slight tell on your shot. And because of fuck, man. The shot's good because and this is Abdullah had this too. Because it's a bump, you generate that extra speed. When you bump into it, that ball gets moving really, really fast to the long hole. But the downside to that, it makes your push kick really long. It makes the long hole really fast. But at the same time, you are giving up the ability to throw in dink sliders that will start splitting the defense. It makes it really difficult to go short because you're hitting this ball so hard, you have to come back with this man to come back all the way over here to go short. And that's a limitation on the shot. And again, we'll check this out as the match progresses. We'll see how Liam shoots. But in general, this is not a knock on his shot. This is a knock on, and this isn't a knock on anybody. This is just to say, hey, dude, when you are a defender, you're a goalie, and you come up against somebody who shoots something like this, you have to know the limitations, and that's going to dictate your defense. And this is the defense you're going to give. If he's going to go straight, he's going to just come and hit that ball right here. He's not going to fake and then do a slow like dink around this, a slider around that first man. He's just got to come straight here, and that's what this guy is for. And then the bump long, you're going to get like kind of middle-ish to long, depending on how good they are, and that's your defense for the most part. And then every now and then you want to throw in a little something different so he doesn't know it's that easy to shoot. But for the most part, you were on long and straight. And that's exactly what Brandon's doing here. Yep, he changes it up. He gives them a different look, which is tremendous because a lot of people you say, hey, man, block the straight long. They're like, okay, thumbs up. But then they just sit on straight long and they don't really change it up. And then the people dial in on that lack of motion. And then they start pounding the middle. No, when we say block the straight long, we mean block it, but at the same time, give him different looks. So he has to read it. So he thinks maybe it's there. And that way you might talk him into doing what he wants to do, which is go straight long. So great stuff by Brandon. Switches up to this, and he is still on the same holes. And then he does it for a second or two, but Liam is super patient. And then so Brandon is forced to, okay, I will kind of fake in middle just in case you're going there, and I will change defense to something else. And Liam times this perfectly, and he just misses it. But he does. Like Brandon gave him the best defense, and he just outweighted him. He just missed it. So good stuff by both players. We'll get some 2-5 action. Boom. And we reacted to this originally. This is just dirty, right? You're doing a chip from way up here, and it even like banks off here. That's how steep it was. So pretty nasty. Yeah, what are we looking at? Well, this is something different. Before he was tic-tacking it and he was not having a lot of success. Now he's doing a sit still. So I don't know if he's giving away anything, but as a defender, hey, something different is coming. There's some kind of flaw in this motion that's requiring him to move away to his tossing series. Oh, there he goes. Yeah. And then once he starts bouncing, tic-tacking it, he's generating speed. Brandon's like, nope, you were not going to get the number one money past the wall, and he gets that block. Almost gets the steal. Oh, man, look at that patience. This thing's coming all the way out over here. He's forcing Brandon to block 3 men. I mean, that's what it is. He's got the chip down. He probably goes straight. I mean, he is forcing Brandon to cover a lot of ground here. And he's taking his time. Well, and he gets it very easy. Yep, that's again. This is why you do not give him the wall pass. If somebody's going to beat you, we go over this in our 3-bar quiz video. We had that one off speed five bar qu- 5 bar question, and the moral of that question was, hey man, you take away somebody's money pass and you make them beat you straight up. You make them beat you with the mental side of chess. You don't let them dictate things with their best unraceable pass. So good stuff from Lean to just be dialed in on forcing that wall. But again, man, you got to not give that to him. Sorry. What happened here? Oh, goes for the scorpion right off the bat, and I don't know. Like, we don't know what their history is. I would assume they've played each other quite a few times because they live next to each other in terms of Louisiana and Dallas. He goes into the scorpion. Let's check out this shot so we can see it because it's pretty fast. Yeah. Looks like he goes in the scorpion with the short, and Brandon catches it with this guy. So that's interesting. I mean, if we didn't know these were pros, we would absolutely repeat the same thing. Is like if we had to pick the winner, we are probably going to not pick the person who is doing gimmicky stuff on the 3 row right out of the gate. You want to you want to have a set shot. You want to work your series and let that play out. And instead, you're in order to if that's what you have to do to hit the short hole, you have to go into the scorpion, or maybe he's just so good at this push kick that that's how he hits his short. And maybe he did the bump to show he was going long. He was expecting Brandon to bail out to long, and then that scorpion gives the straight. So in that essence, yeah, man, that's a great shot. But Brandon just caught him with that shift in defense. So again, good stuff for both players. And Brandon looked like he is a little bit more. Nope. Now I do not want to give you that wall that you've been smoking lately. Yep. Pounds that lane like a man. Good shit. Let's check this out again. And Brandon's given easy defense. I mean, for the most part, he is not. Both of those holes are very easy to read, and he's giving up that lane, and Lean gladly takes it. He sets this up. Looks like he tried to go long. Just doesn't execute it. Looks like it might have been there. Or to the 5 action. Duh. Tried to take the lane. Brandon was waiting for it. Good shit. What happened there? Oh, Brandon got a piece of that. So Brandon's like very slowly zeroing in on that angle down, but Liam gets it. Oh, another missed pass. And so we can see too is, well, he missed it, but was it a bad pass? Because he's got some good walls. He just pounded the lane. This kind of looks the same as all his other ones. He's tic-tacking it. He goes into this pass that you think is going to be a wall pass. Brandon is ready. Sorry, let's check this out. He goes to the wall. Brandon collapses on the wall. That lane is there, but he just does not execute it. So again, like that's like 4 or 5 misexecutions from Lane, but these holes look like they're there. So, and that's when we reacted to this the first time. We didn't really dive into this. We're just like, oh no, not working. No man, it's bad foosball. No man, good foosball, just misexecuting. Yep. Another grab from the miss pass. Oh. And in the same defense, Brandon is not changing it. He's saying like, "Hey, dudes, this is the defense you're gonna get. These are the holes you need to hit before I start changing shit up." Nope. And he still goes long. So we're seeing some limitations on this three row for sure. But it's still pretty. I mean, it's if he were to hit some of these, this would be a totally different story. We'd be thinking, oh man, this is a super nasty put like series he's got going on here. So I can absolutely see why people are afraid to block his shit because if he's dialed in and he's working all the holes that he's trying to hit now, yeah, it might be a long day trying to block him. Got Brandon back there. Like man, I like his two bar. It's like setting up from the pole. Oh man, barely misses that hole. This is why I love setting it up on the wall. You know, a lot of people set it up on the stripe, and why do they do that? Well, because you set it up on the wall, you have to hit it like a man in order to go long. That's all right, man. We'll put in the reps to become a man. But when you set it up on the wall, look how many, look how much the table opens up for you. I mean, you always have this square right here, but you also have this short right here, and then you've got the pull kick to break down this zone. So he, working this when somebody gives you this hole over here with the two bar, you set up on the wall and you really just it's like a 50-50 guess. You want to slide it through the short hole, or do you want to square up and go short this way? And Brandon reads it right. He just barely misses that. Yep. That's the third time in a row Brandon's got a piece of that. Oh man. And Brandon knows the hole is there. Like he tried the push kick there, and then he tried the bank over here, and he barely missed. So because Leem isn't really back there changing, and there's nothing bad. I mean, that's the zone, and Liam's doing a good job of knowing what he's giving. But you can see Brandon dialed in on trying to get the ball in there. Gets a good grab. Fuck, dude. Absolutely smokes that dead row. We'll check that out again. And I guarantee you, this is a pre-programmed shot. Like when I see as a rollover shooter, when I see the reverse, I absolutely know if I even see any kind of bobbing, I'm going pull side and it'll go around that. That's probably what, as a pull shooter, you would think the same would be true. Oh, I see somebody giving me the reverse, I will just go long. I will go dead row. Yep, CJ has that. Here, boom, man. I don't know who that was, but they're like, yeah, man, Mr. Moreland is Mr. Pimp. Oh, again, um, he is not executing, but what do we think about this 5-0? You know, the first time we reacted to, I think I might have called it sloppy, but I don't know. Everything is looking the same. He is tic-tacking it here. He's waiting on the wall, being very patient. He had the off the wall that he passed right after he did the wall, which caused Brandon to give up that lane. He's working the different passes. I feel like I don't know his game, but maybe this is maybe a new series for him. This is definitely not somebody who's been using this series their entire lives. Like Tony, the reason Tony's is so nasty is because he's been doing the same shit since he was a kid. And I'm probably guarantee you that Mr. Lee has not been using the same series since he was a kid because the execution is just not there. And that's what we want. We want to have high execution. He's reading it right. I mean, he waited for that huge wall. He just missed it. But slopped in. Yep. Brandon goes for the hack. And again, because of the shot's limitations as a goalie, what are we looking at? Well, we're looking at, oh man, he's not setting it up the way he normally does. He's doing something different, another option, kind of gimmicky stuff here. So we know, okay, well, it might not be long or this. Like we know just, hey man, something's up, something is different. And that is an easy block for Brandon. I mean, it wasn't super fast, but because he changed up his series and how it looked, that's giving a clue to the defender. Hey, man, something different is coming up at you. So that's we're not picking on this 3 row. We're just saying, hey, man, you're a goalie, and you start seeing somebody move away from their normal shit. You have to expect something different. So good stuff. I mean, these are little good mini lessons within this reaction. And that short pull is there, and you absolutely have to have this one too. Um, it's fucking huge. If that little slider isn't there, then this one is, and you got to bury that. I mean, look at this. No matter where you stop this, pausing this, this is there. And the beauty is when you have Big Daddy, when you fucking roast a long, when you square up the short, it looks the exact same. So you will totally get goalies bailing to the long hole, and you're going to score that square because it looks the same. Because you're setting it up so far on the wall, you're dragging it all away over here that people can't help themselves. They bail. So good shit. And it looks like Brandon tried that. Yeah, exactly. He went there, and Mr. Lee is just like, "Oh, FooserX, I know what I'm giving up, and I just blocked that. So suck it." But again, and this is why you set it up here and work the series because this is the mental chess. Now we know, okay, Liam is bobbing to this hole, so that's why you can get that slider in there. That's the chess match. Yep, great pickup from Brandon. And again, this is singles, so we are we're not going to nitpick not taking your time when there's easy pickups. I mean, that's a great pickup from Brandon. Oh man, what is this going on here? Little something different. He's not doing his tic tac. He's kind of setting it up, and where's he trying to go? I don't know. What I'm gonna play this back. Looks like he was trying to do like a bump wall. Is he trying to do a chip? A bump chip? that that's I mean that's what happened. And he caught it clean. He came out, or was that supposed to be a lane pass, and that's why he came out? This is either genius or just very sloppy foosball. I don't know. I don't know. If anybody sees Liam Lee doing this bump bank chip, you post that below and I'll give him credit. But yeah, I don't think anybody would do that on purpose. It looks like he just another misexecution. And again, that's probably just maybe a new series for him. Who knows? Boom, fucking roast that long. And Brandon knows, hey man, you cannot give him long. Well, it wasn't long, was it? Yeah, it's like a 3/4 spray long. So those are fucking nasty. And when I say nasty, I mean that in a good and bad way because you know what you want to block. As a defender, you know that's the limitation is he has that release point. But you don't know if you need to block the long hole or you don't know if you need to block that 3/4. And they're so close, they kind of look the same, and you don't know. I don't think they know what they're doing. It makes it really tough to block. Uh, Another hack. I mean, this is a huge hole. I think Brandon's absolutely reading that right. He just misexecuted again. Again, I think that's his third misexecution on Big Daddy. Oh man, it looked like the same thing. Yeah, he's trying to go lane, and he is just it's just not there, and it's bouncing off the wall. So that's something you got to know as a defender. Okay, man, we saw you with your money pass, getting those easy walls. Now we are forcing you to hit lane, and you can't. The execution is not there, and this is why you give this defense to a lot of people, especially on the far wall. Just the mechanics aren't there. Not everybody has that super disgusting lane like Tony Spreedman does. Brandon tries the slider. This is great. I do this all the time, and this is why you want to practice your ball control with the two bar. Every time Brandon moves this ball, Liam is distracted and he is changing up his zone. And God, Brandon barely misses that. And it just opens up both holes. Eventually, that goalie will kind of like maybe make a mistake, start chasing it, start splitting his attention. Oh man, Brandon almost gets a piece of that. Still gets the steal. And neither one of them have good execution on the 5-row. Boom. Brandon. And this is why you take your time. You got a lot of God. I posted some reactions of people not they were quick shooting their pull. Like it's the second they rolled it up, they're like, oh man, I see that hole. No, man, this is why you take your time. Look, because over the course of this, he starts puckering up because he's like, oh, what's he reading? I don't know. I don't know what's happening. And Brandon just smokes that long, and Lean doesn't even react. Good shit, man. Yeah, and again, he's like, I'm not going to give you that easy wall. You are not executing the lanes, so I'm not going to give you what you can hit. Like, can you hit this? And yep, he tries to force in. You're forcing in something that's not even there, and this is why. Uh, with, this is why I'm double reacting because I don't want to be harsh on anybody. I just think this is not a series that Liam has used for very long. Just the execution's not there. There you go. That's what you have to have. That's the whole Brandon's giving you, and Liam's like, thank you very much. I do have it. Shut the fuck up, FooserX. Well, tries a little rope a dope. Brandon is not fooled. And again, check this out. This is something different. Something different's happening, and oh man, you're relying. This is like you are relying on deception. It's not like you read the hole when the ball's over here. You read that straight. Otherwise, you just hit it. You're like, nope. I will bounce it over here and then come back into a poke and hope. I will hope that hole is open, and that is the very definition of a hit and hope bar. And we don't want hit and hope. We want to see the hole and blow up whenever we want. Again, not bad. You play somebody that doesn't know how to block that or somebody who hasn't seen it before, they probably let that pull kick in. And and if that goes in, everybody around the table is like, holy shit, fucking badass 3-row. Oh man, Brandon gets a steal, immediately goes into a pass. He is still giving that reverse. Man, I would not be reversing Mr. Moreland whatsoever, unless you feel like you've talked him into stuff. Great clear by Brandon. This is what you got to do sometimes, dudes. You don't got to score. People that have great zones, and you're like, man, I'm struggling to get the ball out of my zone. Well, that's because they're zoning you up. So if they're zoning you up, what does that mean? Well, that means other shit's open. And Brandon decides to take that lane right off the back wall. Fantastic. This is something I see a lot of pros do, and it gets me all the time. If I was playing a lot still, I would practice that a lot because that is there a lot. Because Lean did a really good job of, shutting down the shooting lanes, and so Brandon makes the adjustment. Well, I'll take something else. Good shit, man. Boom. And Brennan is mixing the clock up, and he takes the straight or God, I don't even know where that went. I don't know where that went. It's too fast. I don't know if that was straight or middle. I think it was middle. Yeah, he just makes that read great. He knows that this guy is going to be posted, which means that this is going to be open. So fantastic shooting by Mr. Moreland. I don't know if I said it already. Go to Foos by Brandon. This is what he teaches: how to have a smoke and pull. He will break down your mechanics so your pull looks like him. Yeah, just and you can tell. Like, look at. I mean, we got a pro over here doing the Tony tic tac. Tony has no problems just doing this for all 10 seconds before passing, and Liam is already kind of like losing control of this ball because this is a hard series. It's a hard series to learn. Again, he reads that right. Brandon is giving him easy holes here, and he's just not executing. So, I mean, this isn't bad foosball on Liam's part. This is just, hey, man, I have not put in the reps to execute what I'm seeing here. But give him credit. He is reading the right shit, and I'll take that all day long if I'm a player. Yep, goes into the fast hack. Boom. And it looked like I don't know if he meant to take a little something off there. If he did, then that's somebody getting fired up and doing what needs to be done. But if that was a mixed execution, who knows? But that's the whole Brandon's giving him. Dude, I'm gonna take away the long and straight. What else you got? And Lee made that adjustment. Look at Liam's defense. He has completely changed it up. Like shit, my shit wasn't working. I don't. Again, Brandon's stroke is so fast. I'm having difficulty seeing where he's going. He's seeing the crossover. A little too much crossy cross for me. Oh, it was a straight. No wonder I couldn't see it because he didn't go anywhere. FooserX. That that's what Don the Dragon should have been shooting on that kid because that's kind of the same defense. Dude, just pop the straight. Takes away the easy wall. Boom. Fucking reads that like very. I mean, he's reading that. He's just the release points there. Big Daddy is there to just kind of go long, and he just barely gets that early. You know what? You were reacting to my shit, Mr. Moreland. At least my hacks were on goal. I think I scored like 3 in a row. They were a quarter of your speed. They didn't look like a man because I'm not touring anymore, but at least they were accurate. Good shit. Oh man, great shit from Lean. Because he is, yeah, he's got the 2 to 5. Brand's a little lazy. Yeah, he's getting back there to adjust shit, and Liam just this is singles. You take it before your opponent gets ready. So really good pickup, good shot from Liam. And you got to know too, hey, this is my defense. Well, what's going to happen here? Well, he's not going to do any kind of shitty, like any kind of wall pass. That's the hack that he's going for when his hand's there. So, and again, sometimes you know it's coming and you just can't stop it. Good hack. I mean, that's foosball. Even when you know it's coming, it's still tough to block. This 5. Um, It's pretty fast. He is not passing at a high percentage. He's not like dominating like Horton. But what I do like about it is everything kind of looks the same. We don't see these left hooks coming because he's tic tacking it in here, which generates the speed and power and has the same takeoff. He could easily go into some tic tac wall passes that are invisible, tic tac off the wall. I mean, it's basically the same series that Leem has, and he's struggling it kind of the same way that Leem is, but he's also got the brush. So good stuff. Um, I mean, I guess if we were nitpicking here, yeah, whatever, man. He's a master. He's probably got all the passes. Everybody's got their own style. Everybody's got their own success and their history. But if you're gonna do the brush, if you're brush passing, why are you doing all this fast tic tac and moving all around? Because that's not the power of the brush whatsoever. The power of the brush is, oh God, I think it was Kurt Davis and Schneider and Zamora is you and Madej. You drag it nice and slow, and you wait for the hole, and then you pound that opening. You don't tic tac it all around. If you're gonna do that, you might as well just do stick series because that's what a stick series is all about. The deception, the speed, and kind of like pulling them off and hitting certain holes. The lateral speed is the power of the stick series. But if you're gonna do a brush, like yeah, man, I'm just not a fan of this combination of moving it fast. If you're just gonna do a brush, oh man, just wait on it and wait till it's there. Obviously, Mr. Moreland needs to watch more of my channel. And there it is. Liam has made the adjustment. He's like, fuck, you want to block me short or straight long? He took a little something off the last one. That time he went short and give it up to him. I mean, I was kind of like ragging on it the first time I reacted to this last night because that's just because you got to watch it. Sometimes you got to watch it multiple times to really understand what's happening. And what's happening here is Liam's picking the right hole a lot. He just was not executing, and now he is executing his shit, and it looks pretty good. Good stuff. Oh, smokes that up. Boom. God, man, look at his discipline. Look at the discipline on the his pull. This is why we take our time, everybody. Because he has roasted some longs. He has exploded at 1 second. He's taking his time. Mr. Lee has zero clue. He's like, I know he can go long. I know if I give him the reverse, he is more than capable of going right around that dead row. But instead of that, Brandon's just like, nope, nope. I'm going to wait for what I want. I'm going to keep mixing shit up there. And he blows up that straight. Brandon is the epitome of a 3 bar series right now, hitting every hole at every point in the clock. Good shit. Take away the wall, make him do something weird. Oh, he kind of comes off. This is Lean dictating. No, man, I will dictate. I will pull you off that wall by, tossing it a little bit different. So good stuff for me. I still, I mean, he's hit 1 or 2 lanes, but he's been misexecuting a lot of lanes. I would still be forcing him lane. This is not just lean. This is fucking almost everybody. Yeah. Now because he has hit a couple shorts, and now he's waiting and being very patient. Brandon still, I mean, he is a little jumpy in terms of he's not giving that sit still long and short defense. I mean, he's still giving the long and short defense, but I mean, look at his defense. It is like he is coming in on the short now. Now he's giving real defense. So um, by Mr. Lee, oh, yep. Looks like he tried to go long. Brandon's there. It just gets a piece of it. So yeah, he's making Brandon respect his shot once you start shooting those shorts. Boom. God, his straight is super nasty. There's no backswing to that, man. That's super tight. Yep, again, another wall. Stop giving him the wall. Ah, like, what's happening here? What's happening? Is that another scorpion? Let's check this out. You guys are too fast for me. I don't know what's happening on the table. Yeah. I think his scorpion is just too fast. Or that, and Brandon just has the discipline to be like, no, man, I'm going to stay on my holes. Even your scorpion short is still going to go to the same spot. Or maybe it goes here. So, and this is what you got to know when you're playing. And this is the limitation of that shot. You see that this short slider is there and you just can't hit it because you're bumping it. You're not able to hit what you see. You're forced into trying to trick your opponent into bailing. So it's an okay. I mean, it's a good 3 bar, but it's not. This is why you don't see the pro masters shooting it because when it comes down to it, you can't pull the trigger on every hole when you want. Oh, Brandon barely misses that pull kick long. This is why it's so great. You set it up on the wall. You've got all these straights. Liam is focused on blocking those. You've shown you will go off the wall, and then you also have this zone buster over here. I mean, Zeke buries this over and over again. Cervantes, you watch him; he hits this over and over again. It's money. But so does Brandon. Brandon sees that's the hole. He's pulling it way over here, gonna cut it back, and he barely fucking rims out of there. Yeah, we're talking about his front game. We're talking about his 2 to 5 action. So and we're kind of saying like, hey man, why is his missed execution not there on the 5 row? He's kind of reading the holes right. He's just not executing. Well, how do you get better execution? One, you do reps at home, but two, you're a front. If you're a forward, dudes, I you do 2 to 5, just like Tony. You do 2 to 5, and your front game is going to get double and triple the possessions, and you're gonna get more opportunities to pass, to score. So there's pros and cons of going 2 to 5. It makes your front game a lot better, but at the same time, it limits your 2 bar. Fantastic, just dirty. Yep, showing him that wall. Hey man, it's still there. And then Leem is finally, nope, not there. Or sorry, he does. He hits that up. Oh, finally goes for that short straight, and Brandon is there. He just again he doesn't execute that. If it's a better brush, it tucks in before that guy, and he would have won this game. And we'll go back here. We'll do another mini lesson on Leem's 5 row. And this is not Leem, this is anybody's 5 row. When you are not doing fakes and hitches and stalls like Tony does, or just a lot of other people, what the masters do, this is 50-50. You're just tic-tacking it here. You're not doing anything special. You're not diving to the wall. It's 50-50. And you're playing the mental chess. But if somebody's talking you into shit, that's what we don't want. We don't want 50-50 because now Brandon is in his head a little bit and he gets 2 blocks. But if you have a hitch, you have a stall, like a hesitation wall, something, that's what we use to tilt the scales in our favor. So it's not 50-50. And we've gone over that a lot. These are just like mini lessons here, but everybody's playing good foosball here. Yeah, great attempt by Brandon. This is there. Brandon misexecutes it. That bank that goes right here, he just chops it a little early. Like both of these guys, like this game could have been over a long time ago if they were executing a little bit better. And that's not to say they have bad execution. It's just they're doing difficult stuff. They're barely doing it. God, fucking roast that long. Or very early in the count. He's not taking his time there. And that's not in a bad way. That's a good way. It's like, hey man, I am working the clock, and instead of waiting on it this whole time, I will blow up that hole right off the bat. And that's what Don the Dragon. That's what Don the Dragon needed against the kid. It's like, hey man, I've got this. And he had that in that other game where I can't remember if he won or lost it. But you have that. You have to work the clock. Be smart, man. Work the clock. Work your 3 bar, and that's what Brandon's doing. You can't do quick shot every time. Yeah, 50-50. This one goes to Lean. Great read. Pounds it. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't shoot that, but he sees this guy here, but I guess you're brushing it, and maybe you can try to brush it here, or you could brush it straight, but it's a tough one because you're kind of hovering, and I don't know if he knows he could go short behind this guy, or maybe Brandon knows that's the hole he can hit. I don't know, but Brandon's on it. But the real problem is, hey man, the real issue is this is there. The long is there, and you're not able to do that. Oh man, great 2 bar, pumping both sides, seeing what's there. Gonna take a timeout. uh, this is there. If you're fast enough, this is there. And if you're not fast enough, just take a little something off. Because those 2 shots are there. One of them is there. Yep. Oh man, barely misses it. Great shot by Brandon. Oh man, easy pass for Brandon. Again, just barely misexecutes. And I think somebody posted that this was being played at like 6 in the morning or something. And this is maybe why you're seeing some of these misexecutions. Brennan finally catches up and gets a steal from the 2 to the 5. And Liam finally gets a block. Yeah, and you gotta have really good confidence in your game when it's 4-4, and this is the game right here to know that you absolutely cannot turn this ball over or it's game. So props to Lee for sticking with it. I mean, he was again. I don't know, man. Did that pay off? Like, who knows? And maybe you're game planning this out, next level shit, and you're saying, well, what are Brandon's strengths? How do I beat Brandon on the table? Well, one, you take away his 2 bar and his 3 bar, and how do you do that? Well, you control the game because if you're back there and you're just shooting 2 bar shots and you aren't scoring a lot, then you're just giving Brandon more and more chances. And so maybe that's the good game plan. So good stuff, man. And that's makes your front game better by doing 2 to 5. So good stuff. Brandon takes the early straight. Fantastic 3 bar action by Brandon. Good 2 bar action. He didn't score a lot, but he barely missed a lot. And then we got a first start look at Mr. Lee, and he lost that. And the first game wasn't even really close, but he had his chances and he picked the hole right on a lot of them. He just wasn't executing. And then he had two chances, I think, here, and he was just trying to go straight or short, and Brandon's on it. But I could absolutely see if he is executing at a better level, that that would not be a fun 3 bar to block, and it also would be very, very fun and very, very, very different. So good stuff. And then he had some gimmick shit to throw in there, and that's not bad. So you, this is why you have a game like this. You have a different shot. This is why you can win experts and pros, because nobody's ever seen this before. People are so used to blocking the pull and the rollover. You got a high quality shot that's a little different, and yeah, maybe it's not as efficient as the pull and the roller. Maybe it's limited, but people don't know that unless you play against it a lot, and they don't understand the science behind the shot. That's why you could still win a lot of titles. And I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact that Mr. Lee has a lot of titles. So good stuff, man. I enjoyed watching that. I enjoy watching people who have a different game. And the first time we reacted to it was a little sloppy, but now that we kind of break it down and see what was really happening, it was just some misexecutions. It's not bad foosball. This 5 row, just a little bit of maybe throw a hesitation in there, but everything was looking the same, very clean in terms of um, the, the lane and the wall looked the same. So good stuff, man. I enjoyed that. Mahalo, guys. Take care.